And today we're going to be talking about Bluey's grandma, aka Chili's mom, and what happened to her. But yes, it appears that she has indeed passed away.
Yeah, she was.
But Bluey doesn't know anything about her.
G'day cheeky dogs, my name's Marky and I'm an Australian currently living in America.
So with the new episode Dragon that just dropped yesterday for Mother's Day, we did get a lot of new information, especially about Chili's mom, aka Bluey's grandma.
Who is that? That's my mum. Your grandma.
So we know that her name is officially Grandma, not Nana, like Bandit's mother. But there are a lot of unanswered questions as well, with the main one being, when did she die? So I have a pretty good theory about this, and I've got about 5 episodes worth of evidence to kind of back this up. So let's start off with everything we know about Grandma Cattle. And yes, we're going to assume that that's her maiden name because that's Brandy's name, and as far as we're aware, Brandy's not married. So Grandma Cattle's very first appearance was at the very start of season 3 in 2 family photos that we can see in the entranceway. There's one of her with the whole family, and then there's one of her by herself as well, riding a horse. This is also the first time that we see Brandy as well, and I think that's really important. So we're gonna come back to that in a second. So the photos of them on what we assume is Granddad's farm, where I'm assuming as well that the girls obviously grew up, and the picture of her mum on the horse obviously shows that her mum loved horse riding, but in particular, the idea of horses is really important in the episode Dragon, and we see Chili's love as well for horses and her love and obsession with trying to draw them perfectly.
I loved drawing horses.
In this flashback scene, we see Chili's mum giving her a little bit of tough love advice,
It's not as good as the one in the picture.
You're right, it isn't.
saying that, yeah, her pictures aren't great, but they are great for a 7-year-old. Which again is really beautiful that Chili in this scene is 7 years old, just like Bluey is currently in the present day Blueyverse.
There I am, 7 years old.
Grandma Cattle's advice though is really beautiful, telling Chili that she has to just persist, keep on going, and the more she practices, the better that she'll become.
Keep practicing, you'll get better. Just don't ever give up, Chili.
And we can see that Chili really takes this to heart and still practices that idea to this day. We see Chili teaching this idea to Bluey in the episode Obstacle Course.
There's only one thing you can do.
Cheat! Yeah!
Yeah! What? No, I meant practice!
And it has obviously become a really integral part of Chili's life, as this is something that she wants to also teach her children as well. Because if you just stick with something and practice it enough, that you will eventually become really good at it. However, it is after this flashback memory scene that we find out that Bluey doesn't know anything about her grandma. She didn't even know that it was her grandma until Chili told her that that's who she was.
Who is that?
That's my mum. Your grandma.
And Bluey says that she is beautiful, and Chili has to correct her and say she was.
Wow, she's beautiful.
Yeah, she was.
Thus confirming, of course, that Grandma Cattle has passed away. So, why does Bluey know nothing about her, and when did she pass away? I honestly believe that it must have happened before Bluey was born. Not only would this then explain why Bluey doesn't know her personally, but it will also explain as well why she hasn't seen any photos of her or heard any stories about her either. So perhaps Grandma Cattle passed away just before Bluey was born. And then this would also explain why we don't see her at all in the episode Baby Race. Chili was obviously struggling with a lot of mum guilt and a lot of the main struggles that we have in motherhood when we have our first baby. And she gets advice from everywhere except from her mum. She looks in books, talks to the doctor. She goes and sees Bandit's mother for advice, Nana Healer. And she also eventually ends up getting advice from her new mum friend, Bella, aka Coco's mum.
You're doing great.
But nowhere in this episode at all do we see her talking about her own mother or calling her own mother or even asking her mother in any form for advice. So obviously she wasn't around for this section of her life. Now this could also explain her very strained relationship with Brandy as well. So if their mum passed away just before Bluey was born, obviously this would have been a very traumatic loss for both Chili and Brandy. And we know that both of them really wanted to become mothers. They really wanted to have children. And for Chili then to go on and have Bluey and then so soon afterwards also have Bingo, we know that that caused a strain between her and Brandy's relationship. But maybe there's like a second layer in here as well. Chili had become a mother of 2 daughters. She had become their mother basically. And I'm sure through Brandy's eyes, that would have hurt a lot to not only have lost her mother, but to see Chili being able to recreate their own family again. And it was something that Brandy couldn't do.
I'm sorry it's been so long.
Oh,
It's just hard seeing you all, you know?
I know.
This could then explain even more why there was a 4-year gap between them talking.
4 years ago.
Look, I have to go. This was a mistake.
This also makes the scene in the episode Granddad so much sadder. Chili at this point has already lost her mother. She's basically also lost her sister, and now she thinks she's about to lose her dad as well because he won't take care of his health. So no wonder she is so adamant about him trying to take care of himself.
I'm his daughter. He should take care of himself for me because I still need him.
He is all she has left of her family, and she doesn't want him to leave her alone as well. So, if that's the case and that's when their mum passed away, it was just before Bluey was born, why hasn't Chili really talked about her at all through Bluey's 7 years of life, or had any photos up of her either? So this is where Bluey's big play comes into place. So we know that this takes place between season 2 and season 3, and this is also the first time that Bluey learns about Brandy and that Chili even has a sister. And of course, at the very end of the play, Chili decides to try and make amends with her sister and calls her to say hello. This is obviously the beginning of the healing process for Chili, not only with her sister, but also with dealing with the loss of her mother. Because after this, at the start of season 3, we now all of a sudden see her own family pictures being put up on the wall as well, rather than just Bandit's family pictures all over the walls in the house. We also see through season 3 that she's able to start to mention her mother as well, in the episode onesies especially.
Me and my sister Brandy made this dance up for our mum's birthday when we were kids.
This then of course leads us to the episode Dragon, where Chili is now feeling a lot more confident about sharing details about her mother and some memories that she has with her that she thinks are really important for Bluey to know. But more importantly, the very end of the episode Dragon is us getting to see Chili having some closure finally with the loss of her mother. In the very end scene, we see Bandit, Bluey, and Bingo all in the car ready to leave. They've packed everything up, but of course Chili's horse can't come with them. And the horse, of course, is representing the spirit of her mother. Not only does it have the same color scheme, but of course we have the whole connections between her mum loving to ride horses, her mum telling her to keep practicing to draw horses. Chili's made this connection with her horse, that the spirit of her mum is inside of it. Now, of course, her mother can't come with Chili for the rest of this journey and them returning home, because she's already passed away. She wasn't able to join Chili on this journey of starting her new family back in her own home. She passed away before she was ever able to join them at all.
You're not coming, are you?
Chili then is finally able to say goodbye and comes to terms with saying goodbye to her mother before the horse then sprouts beautiful angelic wings like a Pegasus or like an angel, and then flies off up into the sky as if she's flying off up into heaven. This iconography of the horse being let go and set free and being able to leave is so beautiful. And the scene is incredibly bittersweet, but full of emotion as Chili finally comes to terms with the loss of her mother and being able to say goodbye and get some closure. So that's my theory, that she passed away just before Bluey was born, and due to that traumatic loss, mixed in with the separation from her sister Brandy as well, Chili wasn't able to talk about her mother at all until now. But hopefully that means that maybe we might hear some more stories about Grandma Cattle in the future and learn a little bit more about her relationship with her daughters, and maybe how her and Granddad Mort also met in the first place. So, what do you guys think about this theory? Do you think that she passed away before Bluey was born? And do you think that we'll get to see more of her in the future as well? And also, what do you think her actual name might be? Let me know in that comment section down below. And while you're there, if you love Bluey as much as I do, don't forget to hit that like button, as well as that subscribe button and bell for notifications, so you know when my breakdown of all of the Easter eggs and hidden details from the episode Dragon comes out. But until then, cheeky dogs, I have picked you out a few other videos that maybe you would like to watch, and I will see you all in another video. Mwah! Bye!